No, I just wanted to ask a quick question. I looked around because I was trying to catch up on what has been happening. And I still didn't find the prompt that you said we could use for Claude when she runs out of
Oh, it's not a prompt. Okay, I got the hookup. I got the hookup. You need the hookup. Okay, I'll just give you that link right now. And it is a free platform. And yes, your conversations are saved. So sign in like you normally would. And then you'll have all your historical conversations. So there's the link for the free version of both Claude, like the one that doesn't run out of chats, for Claude as well as ChatGPT, so that you never get that doom message of try again at 7 a.m. Like, who wants to try again at 7
it's
a.m.
the
when
doom
it's
of 7
midnight?
a.m. guys, like, no, thank you.
Like, no, thank you. I don't think so. So yeah, that's definitely a good reminder. And I
Thank you,
think
baby.
I'm gonna pop it inside our AI channel as well on Discord. So that's a really, really good reminder. Thank you, Liberty. A very interesting thing happened. I got a bunch of messages and a bunch of comments and a bunch of DMs from really good people, um, letting me know that I was featured on one of Kay Fadebe's YouTube videos, which is cool. It's actually very, very, very cool. So she sent a few new peeps our way. And so if and when we go live, just know that we have a few members of the fam kind of joining us and watching us. Um, okay, let's check the chat quickly. Lamisha says, I wanted to look at my profile and make sure I was good to go. Okay, cool. We got to do it. We got to do it. Um, I like that you went and you also requested testimonials from your peeps, which is a good thing. It's a must thing. It's a please do it thing. If you know that you have people who can actually add credence to services that you're offering, I think it's a very good idea to ask those same people to give you some reviews, positive, please. Testimonials and reviews, definitely a good idea. But whoever's ready to share their screen, please go ahead while I go and grab Alice's details. Okay. And then also, please feel free to pop your questions in the chat. But come on, share your screen. Anybody can share their screen. It doesn't have to be somebody that I designate.
Okay, so look at my profile.
All right.
And so I changed up some things. So I changed up my what's it called? The profile picture. Changed
Mm-hmm.
that. I changed up my title. I have one profile right now. And I added some aesthetic to make it so that it looks pleasing to the eye. So
And
that's
come on,
what
profile picture.
you see.
I see you doing the psychology.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so evident. I now notice everybody's. I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing there. Oh, I see.
yeah, it's the psychology that's like turned to the side. I see the colors in your portfolio that you've got going on.
You see that?
Yeah. You made sure that it's the exact green, right? It can't just be any green. It has to be like this exact green.
Talking about this green right here. This green. This.
Mhm. That big old, exactly. So there's two versions of it. There's the dark version and then there's the light version. So when you hover
Yeah,
over
when you
that button, you saw the light version. There's also the dark version. But yes.
The only thing that I just need to put up, which I will do today, is my video intro. So I just didn't have time. It's back to school. So I just didn't have time. So,
Oh, okay. I see the skills tags. Hello. We've got platforms, which is really, really important, guys. Can you see that? The platforms have been named. And then she focuses on her industry. So you don't just want to look at what tools you use, what are the tools of the trade, or what services you provide. You also want to talk about industry, right? So that they know what industry you're in. You're a UGC creator, but you can also do market research. You can also do business development. You can also do marketing strategy. So I think it's a good thing, and we are on track. Consultations. You will get consultation on the best social media marketing strategy for your business. Did you do market research on this price?
so very little. But hear me out.
I'm about to, you know why? You know why?
So here's what I was thinking. I was like, well, from the ones that I did see, I was like, they're charging $1 a minute. And so my
Say, let's
is 25 minutes.
okay.
That makes it a little over $1. That's right.
Okay, how about, oh, no, ma'am. Okay, how about we scroll up, we open up a new tab, and we go to Upwork as if you were going to search for jobs, but instead of searching for jobs, you're going to do a project search. Because I can assure you, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Uh,
So I'm finding work. So I'm in the new tab and I'm finding work, right? So you said so
you're
search.
finding projects, yeah, and it's going to be for market research or something about a strategy. But you're searching for projects, not for jobs or talent. So like right at the top. Unfortunately, your screen share is cut off, so I can't see any of the top tabs. There we go.
Okay.
All right, looks good. Welcome, welcome, new viewers. Good to have you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to drop your deets in the chat.
But I didn't.
TK says, hi, hope you're well. Is the Claude prompt available only in the paid community? Yeah, unfortunately, the Claude tool and all of the AI tools are only available in the paid squad. Please carry on, Manisha. Sorry about that, TK, but hopefully you'll join us in the squad eventually.
So I did not research it this way, using project. I did it a different way. And so I was thinking that it would be $1 a minute. So these are projects that people have on their profiles. What this is what I'm looking at. Okay.
And so the really cool thing is you can also filter. Like you can, yeah, girl. Let's scroll up now. Let's scroll up. And also I'm going to ask you like, which one stands out for you the most? You can filter by price according to like, I want to see who's getting paid the big bucks. So for your consultations, I mean, do you see that price is really not an object? It's not something you're supposed to be thinking about per se, because you can put yourself in a specific market segment. So you can toggle this all the way to, okay, I want my starting rate to be like $500. You can make a 10K month just based on consultations. So we're trying to toggle for that. And don't worry, guys, I will absolutely make sure that the module on how I structure my projects will be inside the paid squad. It's actually something I've been recording today. So just recording meeting. So unfortunately, nothing's been uploaded yet, but you could literally toggle for even the craziest amount. Like people are charging $450 for market research and strategy.
They're charging $450?
$450. And that's the starting rate. And it's not like people aren't buying. He sold to 654 people. So there's demand.
Thank you so much. I need to research this. I didn't know this
Of
existed.
course. That's why I said I'm not give you buck. You said how much? What?
What am I
Absolutely not.
looking at? This is brand new. Okay. All right.
All right. So, okay, we looked at your, hey Zola, good evening. We looked at your profile and you can see there are a few things that I would definitely still tweak because like that from $30 had me stressed. But guys, do you see her title? She says UGC creator. Again, that's industry as well as who she is in her industry, right? And then she just mentions platforms here. So if you are a virtual assistant or an executive assistant, you would probably say either executive assistant or you would call yourself a fractional COO. And then instead of mentioning platforms here, you would mention tools. So ClickUp, Trello, Asana, Go High Level, whatever it is that you know that your main client avatars use, that is. And look at this rate, y'all. Can I tell you she's on the lower end of her industry, but she says she wants to build up. So this is what I'm looking for when you're starting in the squad, because when you take on fixed projects, this is immaterial. The fixed rate projects are what's going to get you going. And then you'll take on hourly projects once you've built bricks, right? Remember, we use the bricklayer method in Upwork math, where you start out with a really strong foundation of fixed rate project bricks, and then you build your way up to hourly projects. Now, you can still submit proposals for hourly projects anyway, but just know that the bulk of your proposals, if you're sending 5 proposals, which is not advisable, you need to send like 25 so that we can learn a bit more about your niche and get stats and get data back. But if you're sending 5 proposals, at least 3 out of the 5 need to be fixed rate projects, and then the 2 could be hourly. Because you're going to be using Neuro, which is our PSS proposal sending session GPT, I can assure you Neuro has now, I'm going to share some stats with you guys and break them down, but Neuro has a 3-to-1 conversion. So for every 3 proposals you send, you get 1 interview. You get 3 proposals sent, 2 views, at least 1 interview, depending on your niche, but the prompt is still the same prompt that you guys know. And for those of you just joining us for free, don't worry, there is a free prompt because these are proposal sending sessions. So if you're joining for free and you are on Zoom with us, you're able to share your screen and we can submit a proposal together. So there's 3 different things that are going to be happening this evening. Okay, thanks for that, Lamisha. Nice screen share. Who's ready with their stats? Hi, Kasuma, great to see you. Kato, stats ready to go?
Yeah, I've already uploaded them on Discord, I think.
Okay, fantastic. Then I will share my screen. Let's just check out the chat. The blog is hot. New subby from Harare, Zimbabwe. Yes, nice to see you. Awesome, TK. Definitely. You definitely do want to add the tools in the title if you want to be a social media manager. And how much would I recommend you charge? Nothing lower than $25 an hour, please, TK. Hi, Emmanuel. How you doing? Okay, let's start sharing my screen before the squad goes, girl, hurry up. Okay, Discord. And it's, you send it in a private message or in our Discord channel that is questions to Bailey.
I send them in the general server.
Okay. And in the meantime, because we didn't really get a chance to talk about this yesterday, guys, what are our intentions for the week? Is it okay for me to go around the room so that I can like hold us accountable to certain things? These stats are kind of stressing me out a little bit. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Give me a thumbs up or heart if you're able to see my screen. Thanks, Lamisha. All right, so this is what we're working with right now. Anonymous. I'm not going to really say who these stats belong to because it's again private, but 33 proposals sent in the last 30 days. 6 were viewed, 2 were interviews. So this is where using a really broad stat like this kind of hurts us because we're not able to dial into when exactly were you consistently sending, because trust me, that does impact it, as well as when did the views start coming in? Because once we know, and this is your homework, if you're watching this for free on YouTube or you're joining us on Zoom for free, just know that, let me just let some people in. Just know that those 33 out of them will be maybe a group. It could be a group of 12, a group of 20 that was sent at the same time in the same week, right? Or in the same 2 weeks. That those are the ones that got the views. Now, if they got the views, here are the questions that are immediately popping up in my head. Okay, the first one is, what was the niche or industry? Okay, welcome to Mira. Please switch off your mic if you could. Thank you. So what was the niche or industry? So you're going to notice when you're in the squad, we use Notion for this, for pattern tracking. But you're going to notice this anyway. What are the patterns that keep popping up when the proposals get viewed? Those are really, really important. Is it a niche thing? Is it an industry thing? What was the title of the project? So we dialed into this with Mpa to the point where she was like, oh, yeah, I see that they're the ones that give me views in interviews, but I'm not for that industry. So we were like, okay, let's really dial into who it is that you want to serve and start talking to them based on what problem they're trying to solve. Because you can use neuromarketing yourself as an individual, but if you're in a squad, neuro is based on neuromarketing and will really, really tailor the messaging to agitate them on their pain points. So the first question you have to figure out is, who am I serving? What's the niche or industry that viewed my proposals? Because these two go hand in hand. Secondly, what was the proposal style that I used, right? Because there are multiple styles. And when I say that to people, they're like, no, Neuro kicks out the same proposals every time. Well, really, you will see you get unique proposals every single time, or else it would read like spam. Neuro's not the same. It all depends on the tone. So if Neuro didn't analyze and tell you the tone, you still have to go and figure out what was the proposal style. So with Alice, we figured out that majority of her buyers are, and don't kill me for my really crappy handwriting, but they're humanistic buyers. And this is again in sales psychology and neuromarketing. And you're going to see, if I'm working as an executive assistant, right? An EA, and the majority of my buyers are humanistic, I need to tailor my value proposition in a specific way. And the minute we started to dial into that and do a lot more of that, Alice started to get way more views. And now we're recognizing the patterns because we're moving further down. We're trying to recognize the patterns that cause not just the views, let me clear it all, but the interviews, right? And so with interviews, it's easy. You just go to the section of proposals. You go to My Proposals, which is right here. And you go to the proposals where it says active proposals, right? So those active proposals are the ones that have the juice. They actually tell you the title of the project. You get to see the proposal that you send. So title will tell us niche and industry. And then the proposal you sent, its tone will tell you their biopsychology, because Neuro would have used neurolinguistic programming to mirror the way that they wrote, okay? And so then we can really drive into following up, because remember, the fortune is in the follow-up with these clients. And please don't get tired to do that. That is the secret sauce to getting further ahead than any other freelancer on Upwork, is once you have the active interview happening, the active proposal happening, start to really stoke a conversation, share value, do what you can to drive home the message that I am the freelancer that you definitely want to work with. Get everybody else, work with the kid, right? So that is what I want you to take away from the session, if it's the one thing you take away. Okay, so I'm going to pause the share right here, and then we're going to quickly take a look at what's going on YouTube, and then come back and carry on. But also, members of the squad, please feel free to pop anything in the chat, so I can answer any questions that you might have. Right. Emmanuel says, I want to start doing Upwork, but I don't know what to do. The first thing you want to do is go on Upwork and sign up with one email address. If you already had a profile before, figure out what your password for that profile is. Don't start a new profile if you already had one before with your name and all your credentials, because that's how you get banned off the platform. So we don't want that for you. And then first thing that I recommend everybody do is have a 100% complete profile. You can do that through putting things in your portfolio, testimonials, qualifications. Those are my favorite. And featured videos are a new way that you can quickly get to having a 100% complete profile. Once that's done, then you can optimize your profile based on market research. We have plenty of videos on the YouTube channel on how to optimize your profile. So watch those and you'll be well on your way. And that is how you start. Emmanuel, it's a good question. Okay, let's check the squad chat. Lamisha says, I've got to change my consultation rates at a 0. Lamisha, so y'all like send 5 a day or 5 a week? When you're starting out, I would recommend that you try to send as many as you can per day, but like a minimum of 3 every single day. So how easy to send proposals on the go? Oh, exceptionally. If you have the Upwork app on your phone and you have Neuro on your phone, which if you don't already, please do, you can send them in the palm of your hand. I like the idea of sending proposals from your phone and not from your computer, simply because when you text people or you engage with someone on social media, it's a psychology thing. You tend to forget what it was that you were talking about after 5 minutes. And I want that out of sight, out of mind experience for you when it comes to sending proposals. I don't want you to harp on all the proposals that you send, because the reality is you're going to probably feel like this system doesn't work, simply because you are either not getting views that you thought you were supposed to be getting, or you're just not going to have the mindset of A/B testing. So I want you to have the A/B testing mindset, and the fastest way I have seen that I can help you get there is if it's out of sight, out of mind for you. All right, let's carry on with the share. I like comparing apples to apples. So this is interesting. I like that. Thank you very much for sharing these metrics, actually, because Upwork is going to hate me for what I'm about to tell you guys. When you turn your availability badge on, the only metrics that matter are impressions and clicks and invites. Profile views, in fact, you will notice that your profile views do way better when the availability badge is off. So were I this individual, I would take a look at when this view count spiked, because the answer to why is there at that point, at that tipping point right here. And then immediately, I would switch that sucker off, because availability badges do not increase your views. What does? Being seen as an active user or an available user on the platform. Well, how? Using what I shared on our free podcast episode of PayPod, where I told you guys, let the algorithm know you're available by signing in every day. Number 2, engage in the community. You don't have to submit proposals every day to seem like an available user. The algorithm can get a gentle nudge from you being active in the Upwork community in and of itself. You logging in, which is the other thing, log out every day so that you can log back in and indicate to the Upwork algorithm that you're available now. Because that's the only thing that is going to tick this up. Nothing else, unfortunately. But your activity, your level of activity is going to tick up profile views, which ironically also tips up invites, which I also will tip up impressions and clicks. So when you do this, the reason why things tend to kind of plummet is simply because of one thing. And I'm going to try to illustrate it as an image, and then you guys can try to tell me what you think it is. Okay, maybe that was terrible. I'll illustrate it nicely. What is this? Does anybody want to grab the mic and have a guess?
I think you're referring to an ad block.
Exactly. So you have to remember, even Upwork tells you what this is. This is called an ad. So when you turn on your availability badge, you advertise. And the thing is, that's good. That's fine and dandy. But what if my ideal client has an ad blocker? That is why it goes from this to a huge dip. If you have an ad blocker, you're not going to get the views, you're not going to get the impressions, and you're not going to get the clicks. There are places where I would pay. I promise you, there are places where I would pay. This ain't it. This is not what I would pay for on Upwork. I would buy more connects so I could be available. Sending proposals is the fastest way to be seen as an active user. So I would definitely do that. I would buy connects. But I would not turn on my availability badge. So I would probably switch that off as soon as humanly possible to whoever these stats and metrics belong to. So any questions regarding something that you're seeing on the graph, please let me know. Right? Meow. I'm going to quickly check on YouTube. Let me check. Any questions in the chat? Or I'll move on to the next stats. Okay, we're going to move on to the next set of stats. I'm going to pause the share right here so we can carry on. Okay. Ooh. Got a good graph over there. Okay, so we're looking here now at 6 profile views in 7 days. Now, 6 profile views in 7 days, can I be honest, is not a train smash. But the key is to turn these views into invitations. So, best way that I can see to turn views into invites, again, is one of the tips that I've shared. Obviously, you want to consistently send proposals. That goes without saying. But do not discount the value of being in here. This is the secret sauce that hardly anybody talks about. Because obviously you think, why be active in the Upwork community? What's going on in there anyway? What's going on in there is that you can be, based on your industry and niche, you can search for topics related to your industry and niche. And even if a topic is old, you can bump it. You can bump it up unless the topic has been closed. And just add your 2 cents to the conversation. As long as it's the trending topic, you can add your 2 cents to the conversation and increase your views because you're bringing the conversation back into the lexicon. And so your views can go up significantly. And I'm loving that members of the squad are now starting to think really seriously about inbound. Understanding views, invites, impressions, and clicks is so important when you want to grow the amount of traffic you're getting inbound instead of you always having to spend connects, always having to send proposals. But 6 views in 7 days means at least a view a day, except for weekends. And that is not bad at all because that gets you just that 1 step closer to getting hired off of an invitation. Okay. Any questions regarding what you're seeing there?
I should I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
What I'm just confused with is the part where you're talking about how the community comes in, like to, because I thought they are fellow like freelancers you are interacting with, and how do they now come to your profile and how do they turn into all that stuff you're talking about? I'm a little bit confused on that.
I like the confusion because then I can clear it up. It's a good question. Very good question. Okay, so we all agree that Upwork has an algorithm, right? And to be clear, nobody really knows how the Upwork algorithm works except for the people at Upwork. But there are certain educated guesses we can make and inferences we can make based on pattern, essentially. So what I can tell you is that first thing that you want to watch out for when you're looking at the Upwork algorithm is how other search-based algorithms work. So you know how TikTok works, or if you know how Instagram works, or how Facebook or YouTube works, then you definitely beyond a shadow of a doubt, know how Upwork works. So when I am getting a bunch of views from fellow freelancers, the Upwork algorithm understands that freelancers can also hire. Freelancers also have agencies. Freelancers also have profiles as businesses, right? And so appealing to a freelancer is just as effective as appealing to a client. So that is why it makes sense to be active in the community, because if you increase the amount of views you get from the community, you increase the amount of views inadvertently that you will get from prospective clients. So getting lots of views is so important, or else the metric wouldn't be there for us to measure. So that's the reason why it's important. And then I would switch off my availability badge just so that I don't show up as an advertisement. You want to show up as much as possible as an organic search, right? Or an organic click, or an organic view, or an organic invitation. And if you're receiving invitations to projects, please note the title of the project you're getting invited to, because it tells you where the algorithm has categorized you. And if you don't like the invitation that you're getting, you need to really dial into who it is you want to serve, even more so when you're talking about who you serve on your profile. because the algorithm really indexes you based on what it is that you're sharing in your profile. So those are the educated guesses that I'm talking about. Like I said, here it's not getting many views. This is in the span of a month. Only 5 views is a problem. How active were we in the month, right? Were we active daily? If we were active daily, what were we doing? Were we sending proposals? Were we active in the community? Were we optimizing? Were we doing market research? There's not a day wasted. If you're working on your profile every single day, a little thing today, a little thing tomorrow, I promise you that activity counts for something. But if you're not doing anything, then you want to kind of figure out, what am I doing wrong? Because this means that you've missed out potentially on like tons of views, at least 6 a day, if I'm being real. So you're like 6x less than you should be in 30 days, right? So we need to bump that by 6x, and we would do that by those daily activities that I mentioned. Then let's take a look at proposals now. Okay, so we've answered the question here. We got 5 views in 30 days because we only sent 12 proposals. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Do I need to send a ton of proposals if I want tons of views? The reality is, yes. If you send 12 proposals, you're going to get 1 organic view, and these were 4 views based on the proposals that you sent. So whenever a client looks at your proposal, they also give you a profile view. It's inadvertent because the algorithm boosts your profile the minute they open up your proposal, and they're like, oh, okay, this is not a bad value proposition. And of course, this is par for the course for how Neuro does. Neuro has that 3-to-1 ratio. So for every 12, 4 will be viewed. And then here it becomes either 50, 50, 40, 60, or 3-to-2. But 4, this makes sense. Out of 4 that we viewed, 2 turned into an interview and 1 turned into a hire. This is an exact, perfect representation of how Neuro works. And Neuro could do this in a week, or Neuro could do this in a month. It's purely up to you. So here is the value of our AI tools here. It's just purely the value of our AI tools that we get these types of stats and how we can interpret them. Okay, let's see if there's any more dates that we can use. Okay, that's about it. I'm gonna quickly check the chat to see if we have any more questions. Badge. Mpo, can you clarify? What do you mean by badge? Oh, it was the shield. Okay, yeah, the shield. It's terrible. It was a shield that just let you know that same thing happens here, by the way. So when you boost, and I think I've told you guys this inside the squad, when you boost, your proposal shows up with a, please don't tell me you guys think that this is a scrawny S. It shows up with a lightning bolt next to it. And then nothing else, nothing about your value proposition. It's just an ad. So obviously they're not going to give your value proposition. They're going to compress everything so that the top 4 boosts will show up in that top space. And then we start with organic. And the first thing that's going to come into play are the best match proposals. So it's going to be boosted proposals, and then it's going to be best match, which is why I don't encourage you guys to boost, because that's where your value proposition comes into play. And it differentiates you from the competition. So don't boost, because you want to let neuromarketing do the work for you. You want to let sales psychology do the work for you. You want to let copywriting do the work for you. And then this is how you take it home. This is purely now AI getting you that closer and closer to that higher. So to the owner of this, I will say, not bad for someone who only sent 12 proposals. So you didn't even spend that many connects to get to your very first hire. But let's try to do these numbers in a week instead of a month. But not bad at all, not bad at all. All right, I'm gonna stop the share and we will do hot seat coaching. So all the good people, Tamara, Zola, Mpo, Pato, Liberty, Kasova, Vicky. Guys, let me know. Do you have any questions about what we just went through together as a squad? Okay, TK asked a question. He says, so where do you find the community on Upwork? Please clarify. Okay, so on Upwork, let me see if I can share my screen with you. Find the community. So it should be right at the bottom, the last time I checked. Yes, please, for raising your hand. Thanks for that. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you, Bailey. I wanted to ask about the community, but then you're answering that one. So my second question would be, you spoke about logging in and logging out just to make sure that the algorithm picks up on your activity. Do I need to, because there's a different, when you're using your phone and the laptop, when you say log out, you mean like
On your computer, yeah.
putting your credentials again, unlike when you click the app,
Yeah.
it just automatically opens.
Yeah, I would say for that, I would highly recommend that you log off on the computer and then log back in. Now, if you're using Google Chrome, I'm sure your credentials are saved somewhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can just log back in and log off that way. Right, when you get to Upwork's home, where you get to this find work page, all you have to do is scroll straight to the bottom to this area here that is kind of dark. Do you guys see that? It's kind of darker than everything else on
Yes.
the screen. And then you will click on a community, which will be right at the bottom, right here. So when you click on it, you should be able to go through to the community. All right. And now we are here. You guys see that? And accept, or I reject it anyway. Here we are. And Upwork is really good because they have things like feedback loops, profile techniques, and you can pay for these workshops that they have. So if you don't want to essentially have any kind of help from the squad, just know that there are workshops that you can pay for directly from coaches inside of Upwork. I was one of the coaches, but I'm doing my own thing now, so how about that? And then you can also take a look at the trending, right? And go be active. Unanswered topics you can also take a look at. But I highly encourage you to go to trending and go be active in there, post your questions or whatever the case may be here. And that is essentially how I recommend that you start to create those views for yourself, but only after you have fully optimized your profile. Please don't do this when there's still work to do. Yes, Zola, ask away.
Yes, Bailey. When you're at the community, the goal is to participate, showing your skills, or to answer a relevant question. What is the goal exactly for an individual like me to go in, participate on the topic, or am I there to expose my talent and my skills?
Both. I like both. Why not both? If you are in the community, just remember the number one thing that you want to do is provide value. Think of it as like a mini proposal. Answering that question will definitely help you get ahead. it'll definitely help you get ahead by answering the question, sharing as much knowledge as you have. If you want to, you can feed Neuro the Upwork handbook. You can feed Neuro Upwork's terms of service. You can feed, because if you go into support, known issues and workarounds, you can grab those, feed them to Neuro, and then have Neuro just in one conversation. Have Neuro be the one to answer these community questions for you. The goal is activity, but it's also to provide value, because then that makes you credible. That makes you a credible source of information.
Okay.
So
Okay, I get it.
definitely,
So
yeah.
thank you so much. So I'm going to treat this community as a mini LinkedIn, because that's how I've been going about it.
Boom. A mini LinkedIn. I like that. You're already doing the graduation thing. Mbali says in the chat, I received an email from one of the coaches on Upwork offering to coach me for free. Well, tell us about it, because a lot of these sessions have not been free, and you pay for them. It's like $5, $10, something like that. So could you tell us a little bit more about that, Mbali? Let us know how that goes there. Okay, I'm going to stop my share. And if that is all from everybody, I'm going to let you guys go early this week. Any other questions? Let's check the chat quickly. Yeah, nothing else? Cool. Thank you, squad, for your time. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for spending your time with us as well. This is literally a teeny tiny glimpse into what it is that goes on inside the paid squad. If you want to join us, you can join us, but every single Monday and Tuesday, barring yesterday, we do this every week. So if you're joining us, get the calendar as well. There is a calendar that you can download so that you can be active. So I'm going to put it inside our chat here on YouTube. You just go to the following link and you can add the calendar to your own Google Calendar and join us. Okay, there's the link right there. It's publishing.co/join now. And if you're inside our Zoom call, please add this calendar to your schedule so that you never miss a session. All right, it's publishing.co/join now. All right, I'm going to let you guys go now. Feel free to leave the chat anytime. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Bailey.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice to see you, Tamira. Nice to see you, Kasumar. Thanks for joining us, Vicky, Pato, Liberty, and Paul. Really great to see you all.
Thank you, Bailey, for your time, and hope to see you soon again, and everybody.
See you tomorrow. You know, we do daily group coaching in the squad, and then we also have our weekly one-on-ones. So schedule yours if I haven't seen you yet, because I do want to go into depth with your stats and answer some of those questions that I had about some of the stats I saw on my screen. So let's